Have you ever seen a woman enter a relationship believing that if she just loves him enough, supports him enough, or proves she's good enough, she can change him? It's a powerful idea, and on the surface it sounds hopeful, even romantic. After all, we're taught that love transforms people, that patience heals wounds, and that the right partner can bring out the best in someone. But in reality, relationships don't work that way. Change cannot be outsourced. Real, lasting change comes from within a person, not from the devotion of someone standing beside them. Now, it is true that you can be a catalyst for someone's change. Your presence might inspire reflection. Your boundaries might highlight what they could lose. Your stability might show them a healthier way to live. But a catalyst only starts a reaction. It does not supply the substance of the change. The work, the motivation, the discipline, and the accountability must come from them and only them. If those ingredients are missing, nothing real happens, no matter how strong the catalyst is. You can encourage someone, you can support their goals, you can model healthy behavior, but you cannot supply motivation, empathy, integrity, or emotional maturity for another adult. If the desire to grow isn't already inside them, any improvement you see is usually temporary, a performance to keep the relationship, not a transformation of character. Part of the problem is that many people confuse behavior with personality.
During the early stages of a relationship, someone might be more attentive, more affectionate, or more responsible because they want to impress you. That's not necessarily who they are long-term, it's who they are when they're trying to win you. Core traits like honesty, impulse control, accountability, and emotional maturity are deeply ingrained. They don't disappear just because someone new arrived. Another powerful trap is what we might call the special enough fantasy, the belief that he just hasn't met the right woman yet. In this story, transformation is a reward for being exceptional, more loving, more patient, more attractive, more loyal than anyone before you. But this turns a relationship into a competition with the past and places an impossible burden on the present. If he changes, it must be because you were extraordinary. And if he doesn't, it can feel like proof that you weren't. Some people will even say outright, "I'll change for the woman I really want." That statement sounds flattering, but it can actually be a form of deception. What it often signals is not readiness to change, but readiness to delay responsibility until someone else arrives to absorb the consequences. You may enter the relationship believing you inspired transformation, only to find yourself being dragged through confusion, disappointment, and emotional exhaustion instead. Over time, the message subtly shifts. Instead of them becoming better, you begin to feel as though their lack of progress is somehow your fault, that you're not patient enough, not supportive enough, not understanding enough, not the one enough. Without saying it directly, the burden of change gets transferred onto you. And in trying to fix the situation, you may start reshaping yourself, becoming quieter, more accommodating, more forgiving of things you once knew were unacceptable. A healthy person does not place their growth on your shoulders at all. They don't need you to suffer in order for them to evolve. They don't promise transformation as a bargaining chip to keep you invested. They take ownership of their behavior, whether you stay or leave, because the change is for their life, not for leverage in a relationship. Many women also fall in love with potential rather than reality. They see flashes of kindness, ambition, vulnerability, or warmth, and assume those moments represent the real person, while the negative behavior is temporary. But patterns tell the truth. Anyone can have a good day. Who someone is over time, under stress, in conflict, when no one is watching, reveals far more than isolated moments of charm. There's also a social element. Women are often encouraged to nurture, to heal, to support, and to be patient. Those qualities are strengths in healthy relationships, but they can become liabilities when directed towards someone who isn't trying to grow. What begins as love slowly turns into management.
Instead of a partner, you end up with a project. Intermittent reinforcement makes it even harder to leave. If a difficult partner occasionally behaves wonderfully, apologizes, makes promises, shows glimpses of the person you hoped for, your brain clings to those moments as proof that change is possible. That unpredictability keeps hope alive long after the relationship has become painful. What often looks like changing a man is really just managing him, reminding, negotiating, monitoring, accepting minimal effort as progress, and carrying the emotional labor for two people. The change isn't internal, it's externally maintained. Remove the pressure and the old patterns return, because nothing fundamental shifted. Over time, sunk cost takes hold. When you've invested months or years of love, energy, and effort, walking away feels like admitting failure. So instead of reassessing, you double down, telling yourself that all this work must lead somewhere. But investment does not create transformation. It only increases attachment.
Perhaps the most damaging part of the "I can change him" belief is the way it ties your self-worth to his behavior. If he improves, you feel validated. If he doesn't, you may feel inadequate. But his choices are not a measurement of your value. They are a reflection of his readiness, his priorities, and his character. Real change tends to happen for very different reasons: personal consequences, internal dissatisfaction, maturity, therapy, or a genuine desire for a different future. Notice that none of these require a partner to force the issue. A partner can support change, but they cannot be the source of it. So the healthier question isn't, how can I change this person? It's, can I accept this person as they are right now? Do their current behaviors align with the life you want to build? Would you still choose them if they never changed? Because being good enough isn't about transforming someone else. It's about recognizing when you don't have to. The right relationship isn't one where you rebuild a person from the ground up. It's one where two people arrive already accountable for themselves, already willing to grow, and already capable of showing up consistently. You can be a catalyst, yes, a spark that makes someone aware of what's possible, but the fire itself has to come from them. And if the change isn't happening without you having to sacrifice yourself, it isn't real change at all.